My friends, it is I, Michael Bach, your diversity dude. The past year or so has been a bit of a crazy time with the so-called presidential election going on south of the border and the antics that has produced related to diversity and inclusion. And as a consequence, we may have not been paying close enough attention to some of the things going on here at home. In fact, I just received a news alert from my friends at the Globe and Mail that tells me that a bill was introduced last year by the Quebec provincial government called Bill 62, and I'll read the title for you, an act to foster adherence to state religious neutrality and in particular provide a framework for religious accommodation requests in certain bodies. This was tabled by the Liberals last year, and it would make it illegal to give or receive government services if a person's face is covered. Now, since no Quebec public employees mask their faces, according to the government, the bill would effectively target Muslim women wearing the niqab or burqa. What? Are you kidding me? This is like deja vu. Some of you may not remember a couple years ago, then Premier Pauline Marois, who was with the Parti Québécois, introduced legislation called the Charter of Values with the intention of doing exactly the same thing. It was deemed to be a horribly racist and un-Canadian piece of legislation, and the Parti Québécois lost the election quite devastatingly to the current sitting Liberals. And here we have Premier Couillard, who's introducing this legislation. Why? What is the purpose of this? How will this actually serve the Quebec people? This is xenophobia and racism at its finest. And I cannot believe in this day and age that we are actually considering legislation like this. I see what's going on in France with the wearing of the burkini, and the French people want women to expose themselves more and think that full covering is somehow offensive to French people. It is the most absurd nonsense that you could possibly imagine. And here we have the Justice Minister, Stéphane Vallée, who said that introducing this legislation was required for security identification and communication purposes. So first off, if I can't see your face, I can't communicate with you. How does anybody use a phone? Do we have to get rid of phones? Are we going to outlaw phones now? Is that going to happen? What about blind people? Are we not allowed to serve blind people because they can't see my face? Or does the Quebec government not have blind people work in government services, and therefore they're discriminating against a person based on their disability? There is not a single argument that you can provide to me that says that the small percentage of women who live in Quebec who wear the burqa or the niqab is relevant enough that we need to consider a piece of legislation that deliberately discriminates against this small group of women. This is discrimination. This will go to the Supreme Court. If it doesn't, I will take it to the Supreme Court, because this is nothing shy of discrimination against people because of their religious beliefs. So your arguments about security and communication are nonsense. They are masking the fact that you are specifically trying to discriminate against a group of people. This is un-Canadian. This is un-Québécois. And it needs to stop now.